Yes. Welcome students, welcome to lecture number 7, where we'll be covering module 2 under subject indirect taxation. Under module 2, we had seen scope of supply, composite mix supply, levy collection, composition levy, exemptions, persons liable to pay GST, exemptions from tax. So we were seeing under lecture number 6 problems on value of taxable supply and GST levy. So today we will again be continuing looking into the problems on value of taxable supply and GST levy. So let us go to the problems. Okay, so we had completed 11 problems. Now let us move ahead to problem number 12. Students, before we just start with the problems, let me again revise that GST has 4 components, that is CGST, SGST, UTGST and IGST. Okay, and whichever seller is selling the goods or providing the services, they charge GST in their invoices, which is called as output tax. And when they purchase some materials or when they procure some services, the tax what they're paying becomes their input tax. So there are two types of taxes: output tax and input tax. Output tax is on your sales, input tax is in your purchases. And the GST payable to the government will be the output tax minus the input tax, because input tax under GST becomes the credit to the supplier. So now let us begin with problem number 12. A is a dealer in Banaras, UP. He supplies goods and services worth rupees 8,000 to a dealer B in Agra, which is also in UP. So here what is happening? A is selling goods to B and both A and B are in the same state, UP. Dealer B in turn supplies the goods and services to the dealer C in Patna. So dealer B is again supplying those goods and services to dealer C who's in Patna, which is in Bihar, at a profit of 1,200. So find out the input and output tax for dealer C under the GST system if the rate of GST is 18% and C does not sell the goods further. So what is happening? There are three parties, A, B, C. A is selling the goods to B, B is selling the goods to C, and C does not further sell the goods. So now in the question they are asking, what is the input and output tax for dealer C? That is the last person to whom the goods are going. So first, let us start with solving from dealer A. Now, dealer A is selling the goods from UP to UP. So what is the GST component that will be applicable? Since it is an intrastate transaction, the GST component that will be applicable will be CGST and SGST. So let us solve the problem. First, we are going to see for dealer A. It is an intrastate transaction because dealer A and B both are in the same state. So the taxable value of goods we know is 8,000 rupees as mentioned in the problem. So we are taking as 8,000. Since dealer A and B are in the same state, we are going to charge the GST as CGST and SGST. Since the GST rate is 18%, half of 18% becomes 9%. CGST, 9% SGST. Always GST is charged on the taxable value. Therefore, we are taking 9% of 8,000 and 9% of 8,000, which comes to 720. So the total taxable value plus the GST amount becomes your total taxable value, which dealer A is going to collect from dealer B. So it is dealer A is going to collect from dealer B total 9,440 rupees. Now remember students, under GST, if we have seen in lecture number 1 advantage of GST was that GST avoids cascading effect of tax. Means in GST there is no double taxation. So what we can see is dealer B is going to take his cost price as not 9,440, but is going to take his cost price as 8,000. Reason being, whatever amount dealer B is paying in respect of purchases towards the tax will be given as a credit. Therefore, it is not a cost to him. It is a credit to him. So therefore, now let us see dealer B. Dealer B further sells it to dealer C. So the cost price here for dealer B is going to be 8,000 rupees and not 9,440. Again, I'm repeating, because if he takes 9,440, it will be again tax on tax. Because it will be again tax, you are going to charge on that tax. So GST avoids tax on tax since it is giving the credit to dealer B on 720. So the cost price is 8,000 and dealer B is supplying the goods to C at a profit of 1,200. Therefore, to the cost price, we are going to add the profit 1,200. Always remember, students, profit has to be added, discount has to be deducted. So when you're adding the profit margin, what becomes the taxable value of goods for dealer B who's going to further sell it to C? It is going to become 9,200. Now, since dealer B is in UP and dealer C is in Patna, it is two different states. Therefore, IGST is going to be charged at the rate of 18% of 9,200, which is the taxable value, which comes up to 1,656. So the total invoice value what dealer B will be collecting from dealer C will be 10,856. Now students, this is just so that you'll get clarity. In case of dealer B, can you all tell me what is the output tax? Output tax is what it is collecting on its sale. So output tax for dealer B will be 1,656. And what is the input tax for dealer B? The input tax will be the tax that it is paid on its purchases. So it has paid how much? 720 plus 720. That is 1,440 rupees is being paid by dealer B for its purchases. So remember students, output tax for dealer B is 1,656 and input tax for dealer B is 1,440. That is 720 plus 720. But in the question they are asking us, find out the input and output taxes for dealer C. Now, for dealer C, input tax is nothing but the tax paid by the dealer on its purchases. So dealer C is paying how much tax on its purchases? 1,656. So that becomes the input tax. Now, what is the output tax for dealer C? Output GST is 0. Reason being, the dealer in Patna does not sell the product. Now, dealer C is not further selling the product. Therefore, he does not have any output tax because output tax is a tax on sale. And since he is not selling the products further, the output tax will be 0, but input tax is 1,656. So students, is this particular problem clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, students? Okay. Always remember students, once more I'm repeating, output tax is a tax paid on sales. Input tax is a tax paid on purchases, and whatever input tax is paid on purchases, that doesn't become your cost because government under GST is giving you the credit of input tax. Next. Problem number 13. A is a dealer in Ujjain, which is in MP, and he supplies goods and services worth rupees 15,000 to a dealer B in Ratlam, which is again in MP. Dealer B in turn supplies the same goods and services to the dealer C in Jabalpur. Jabalpur also is in MP at a profit of 3,000. If the rate of GST under GST system is 18%, find. What are they telling us to find? The cost of goods and services to dealer C in Jabalpur and net tax payable by dealer B. So let us solve the problem. First, let us go step by step. So first, A is selling the goods to B and both are within the same state. So when they are in the same state, we charge the component of GST as CGST and SGST. So for dealer A, it is an intrastate transaction. Okay, intrastate transaction. So the taxable value of goods is 15,000. You're going to add 9% of 15,000, 9% of 15,000 as CGST and SGST, which comes to 1,350, 1,350. So total invoice value, what dealer A is going to collect from dealer B is 17,700. Now, dealer B. Dealer B, what he is doing, he is in turn selling the goods to a dealer C in Jabalpur at a profit of 3,000 rupees. Now, I told you all students the cost price for dealer B will not be 17,700 because 17,700 also includes the tax and GST does not tax on tax. So the cost to him is only 15,000 because in respect of these taxes he's getting the input tax credit. Therefore, it will be only 15,000 cost price. So cost price for dealer B is 15,000 rupees. Now, dealer B is selling it to dealer C at a profit margin of 3,000 rupees. Profit has to be added to the cost price. Discount has to be deducted from the cost price. So we are adding profit of 3,000 rupees. So what is the taxable value of goods now? It is 18,000 rupees. Now, both dealer B and dealer C both are in MP, that is in the same state. Therefore, we are going to charge CGST and SGST at the rate of 9% of the taxable value. Similarly, SGST at the rate of 9% of the taxable value, which comes to 1620. So the total invoice value which dealer B is going to collect from dealer C is 21,240 rupees. Now, what are they asking us? Net tax payable by dealer B. So what is the tax payable by the dealer B to the government, students? Remember, the output tax for dealer B is charging on its sale is 1620 and the input tax is 1350. So input tax is always given as credit. Therefore, let us see what is the net tax payable by dealer B. So under the head CGST, under the head SGST. Students, we cannot club the both because we know that the tax amount goes separately to the state government, separately to the central government. So never club both. Write the components of GST separately and what are the taxes payable separately under each head. So the output tax is the tax on sales. So what is the output tax under CGST? 1620 less input tax, because input tax is given as a credit. So less input tax credit that dealer B has already paid on purchases is 1350. So when you minus the output tax minus input tax, the net GST payable by dealer B to the government will be 270. Under which head? Under CGST, that is goes to the central government, and 270 goes to the state government under head SGST. So and the next part of the problem is they are asking the cost of goods and services to dealer C in Jabalpur. Now, what is the cost of goods and services to dealer C in Jabalpur? Now, the dealer C in Jabalpur has to pay the total invoice value of 21,240. So the total cost to dealer C of Jabalpur will be 21,240. Suppose if dealer C is further selling the goods, then the cost price will be 18,000 on which the profit margin is to be added. But as of now, dealer C is not further selling the goods. There is no information about them. So the total cost that he needs to pay is 21,240. So students, is this problem clear? 13th problem. Always remember the net tax payable to the government
Ma'am,
will always be your output tax minus input tax. Yes, student.
ma'am, can you repeat
Yes,
once again from 18,000?
this particular part.
Yes, ma'am. 18,000 tax payable on goods. 18,000. That third column, row.
Okay,
There.
see, dealer A is selling goods to dealer B, and total dealer B paid 17,700. Now, dealer B is further selling the goods at a profit of 3,000 to dealer C, right? Now, the cost price to dealer B is not 17,700. We cannot take care. Reason being, if you take 17,700 and you add 3,000, how much it will become? 17,700 plus 3,000 is 20,700. On that, if you charge tax, it will be tax on tax. Therefore, you have to eliminate this tax portion and just take 15,000 as the cost price, because he's getting credit of this input tax credit. So 15,000 is the actual cost to dealer B. In that, you add the profit, which is given here in the problem, the profit is 3,000 rupees. So the taxable value of goods becomes 18,000, and GST is always charged on the taxable value. So 18%, half goes to CGST, half goes to SGST. So 9% of 18,000 is 1620, 9% of 18,000 is 1620 under SGST. So the total invoice value, that is 18,000 plus 1620, that is 21,240, is the amount that dealer B is going to collect from dealer C. So this is the invoice it is going to make. When dealer B is going to invoice, make a bill, it is going to make in this way, and it is going to collect from dealer C 21,240 rupees. Is this clear?
Ma'am, even on profit we need to pay tax.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Because after adding the profit only, the selling price becomes 18,000 to dealer B, right?
Yes, ma'am, I understood.
So always on the sales value, you're going to charge tax. So for example, if I tell you when you go to purchase shoes, suppose in the Bata showroom, suppose you go to purchase shoes, for that Bata owner, the shoes cost may be only suppose 100 rupees. But when it is selling to you, it is going to add its profit margin. Okay, suppose they add a profit margin of 200 rupees. So they're selling to you at 300. Now you tell me, will they charge GST on 300, or will they tell no, since my cost price is only 100, you pay tax on only 100 rupees? So obviously they will add the profit margin when they are selling, when the MRP fixed is 300 rupees, they will charge you GST on the 300 rupees and not on the 100 rupees, because 100 rupees is the cost to them. But after the cost, they add up their margin and then they sell the product. Is this clear? Logically, have you understood it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Is this sum entirely clear to everyone? Or anyone has any doubt in this? Yes, students? Does anyone have any doubt in this particular problem? Students, are you all there?
Yes, ma'am, understood.
Okay, let us move ahead. A dealer X in Hapur, which is there in UP, supplies goods and services worth rupees 50,000 to some other dealer Y in the same city. Okay. Now, since it is in the same city, you know that the component of GST that will be applicable is CGST and SGST. Now, the dealer Y supplies the same goods and services to dealer Z in Kolkata. Okay, at a profit of 20,000. So they are asking, find the output and input tax for dealer Y. So what is the output and input tax for dealer Y? Remember, students, output tax for dealer Y will be whatever he's selling. So tax on his sales, and input tax for dealer Y, it will be whatever he's purchasing, that is tax on the purchases, input tax. Next, net GST payable by dealer Y, and the rate of GST at each stage is 28%. So let us begin solving the problem. So first, foremost, we have to see for dealer X. Okay, so for dealer X, since dealer X and dealer Y in the same city, so it becomes an intrastate transaction. The taxable value of goods, as mentioned in the problem, is 50,000. So 50,000, you're going to add CGST and SGST since both X and Y are in the same state. Okay, so 14% of 50,000 and 14% of 50,000, because the GST rate is 28%. So half of 28% is 14 and 14, which comes to 7,000. So the total invoice value what dealer X is going to collect from dealer Y is 64,000. Now dealer Y is going to pay 64,000 and purchase the goods. Now dealer Y is further selling the goods to dealer Z. Okay, dealer Y is further selling the goods to dealer Z. Now, dealer Y is in the state of UP, dealer Z is in Kolkata, so it is an interstate transaction. So therefore the cost price will be 50,000 for dealer Y. Why I'm not taking 64,000? Can anyone tell me? The cost price for dealer Y will be 50,000 excluding the taxes. Why am I not taking 64,000 as the cost price to dealer Y?
Because already has been
Can
paid the
anyone tell me
tax.
why?
Since it
Yes,
is again,
GST not accept the tax on tax one.
correct. And this becomes his input tax, and government is giving the credit while making the payment of taxes for GST. Means his 7,000 what he's paying, he's going to get this credit when he's going to make the payment of GST. So 50,000 it becomes a cost price. Again, you're going to add the profit of 20,000. The taxable value becomes 70,000. On this 70,000, 28% IGST is charged because it is an interstate transaction. So that comes to 19,600. So the total invoice value is 89,600. Now they are asking us net GST payable by dealer Y. So what is the GST payable by dealer Y? Students, how do we calculate the GST payable by a particular dealer? Simple formula. Output tax minus input tax. This is a simple formula to derive at the net GST payable by dealer Y. So let us see the output tax. Now in output tax, first we have to separately write the components of GST because amount of GST goes separate to different governments, central and state. So IGST, CGST and SGST. Now output tax dealer Y is the tax that the component of tax is IGST. So we've written output tax 19,600 under the head IGST. Now less input tax credit. But input tax credit he has under which head? Under CGST and SGST. So first we are going to write less input tax under the head CGST and SGST as 7,000 and 7,000. Now, as per the set of rules, it says that if IGST input tax credit is not available, then it can borrow the credit from CGST. Even after borrowing from CGST, if there is some deficit, it can borrow from SGST. Now, since IGST input tax credit is zero, students, here there is no IGST input tax. It is zero. Therefore, it is borrowing this. Therefore, it is borrowing 7,000 from CGST and 7,000 from SGST. Input tax credit for IDST is zero, but it can borrow the credit from CGST and later from SGST. So it is 7,000 under CGST, 7,000 under SGST credit. So 19,600 is the output tax minus input tax 7,000 minus 7,000, which comes to 5,600 is the GST payable by dealer Y under the head of IGST. And now here the output tax is 0, 0. The credit also is already utilized under IGST here. Therefore, the carry forward input tax credit will be 0, 0 under the head CGST and SGST. Students, is this understood? Have you all understood this portion? Yes, students? Students, did you all understand this particular net tax payable by dealer Y, this particular calculation?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Those who have not understood, let me just repeat. Output tax under different heads will be there. Or it might not be there also. Like in this case, it is not under CGST and SGST. But input tax credit utilization. First utilize under the same head. If IGST had some credit, first we would have utilized from IGST head itself. First under the same head. And if it is not under the same head, then you can borrow from CGST or borrow from SGST. That becomes in case of IGST. But in case of CGST and SGST, first you need to borrow from IGST. And if IGST credit is not available, then borrow from its own head. Own head, it means output tax under CGST can be set off against output tax, input tax under CGST, and output tax under SGST can be set off against input tax under SGST. Is this clear? Yes, students?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay. Now problem number 15. Consultancy services worth rupees 50,000 are transferred from Delhi to Kolkata at a rate of 18% GST, and then from Kolkata to Nainital with a profit of 20,000 at the same rate of GST. So find out the output tax at Delhi, at Kolkata, and at Nainital. See, again, output tax is nothing but the tax on your sales. So output tax in Delhi, from Delhi to Kolkata, it is an interstate. So if it is an interstate, you're going to charge IGST 9% of 50,000, because 50,000 is the goods that has been sold. So the IGST becomes 9,000. So what is the output tax in Delhi? The output tax in Delhi is rupees 9,000. Next, output tax in Calcutta. Now, cost price in Calcutta becomes 50,000 excluding tax. So it becomes 50,000 plus the profit margin of 20,000. So the selling price, that is a taxable value in Calcutta, becomes 50,000 plus 20,000, that is 70,000. On 70,000, the dealer in Calcutta will charge 18% IGST while selling the goods to Nainital. So 70,000 into 18%, that comes to 12,600. So therefore, total output tax in Calcutta is 12,600. Next, let us see the output tax in Nainital. Now, since the dealer in Nainital does not sell the product further, therefore the output tax on sale is 0, because he is not making any sale further. Therefore, there is no tax. Therefore, it is 0. So have you all understood this particular problem, students? Yes, students?
Ma'am, IGST, why it has been taken 9% in first solution?
Oh, sorry, it has to be 18%. 18% of 50,000 is actually 9,000. By writing, by mistake, 9% was written here.
Yeah, ma'am.
So sorry. Okay, so if we take 50,000 into 18%, it is comes up to 9,000 rupees.
Yes, ma'am.
It was just a typing mistake. Okay. Is this clear, students?
Yes, ma'am. It's clear.
Clear to everyone? See, the format in which you can present your answer depends totally on you. Either you can show it this way, or again you can show it in the form of a table, which we have done in our earlier sums. Okay, so it is all up to you. How do you present your answer? So this is problem number 15. Now let us move ahead to problem number 16. Now problem number 16 I have presented in two ways. Any way is okay, but I'll just show you both the manner in which I presented the answer. Now, A is a manufacturer of TV sets in Delhi. He manufactures a particular brand of TV set and marks it at rupees 75,000. He then sells the TV to a wholesaler B in Punjab at a discount of 30%. The wholesaler B raises the marked price of the TV set bought by 30% and then sells it to a dealer C in Delhi. If the rate of GST is 5%, fine tax under GST paid by the wholesaler B to the government. So here simple, I'll tell you what is happening. Dealer A is selling the TV to dealer B. Dealer B is selling the TV to dealer C. And they are asking us what is the tax paid by dealer B to government. So dealer A is the manufacturer, B is the wholesaler, and C is a dealer. So the TV is going through manufacturer, wholesaler, and dealer. So let us solve the problem first. So the initial marked price by the manufacturer is 75,000. So 75,000 is the price at which A is selling it to B, but it is selling it to B at a discount of 30%. So as I already told you, profit has to be added, discount has to be deducted. So now if it is selling to B at a discount of 30%, so 75,000 minus 30%, it comes to 52,500. So if the discount is 30%, the cost price to B will be 70% of 70. You can show it in any manner, students. Either 75,000 minus 30% discount, or directly take 70% of 75,000. So the total cost price to B becomes 52,500. Correct. Now, what is the GST paid by B on its purchases? So on 52,500, it is going to pay 5% GST. So that comes to 2625. Okay. Next, B sells the product by increasing by a margin of 30% on the marked price. Now, what is the marked price? The marked price is 75,000. So on 75,000, 30% of 75,000 is a profit. What B is adding, which comes up to 97,500. So when B is going to sell, it is going to charge the GST on 97,500. So GST charged by B on selling the TV, 5% of 97,500, which comes to 4,875. So what is the GST to be paid by B? That is GST charged on selling price minus GST paid against the purchase price. So that is nothing but output tax minus input tax. So output tax, what is the amount of tax that B is collecting from C? It is 4,875 minus what is the tax that B has already paid on its purchases? It is 2,625. So the difference is 2,250 is the amount of GST to be paid by B, wholesaler B, to the government. So this is one way in which you can present your answer. The same answer can be presented in different manner, which I will just show you. See students, there is manufacturer A and there is wholesaler B, correct? So the marked price for manufacturer A was 75,000, but manufacturer A is selling the goods to wholesaler B at a discount of 30%. So discount has to be deducted. So less discount 30% of 75,000, which comes to 22,500. So which comes to 22,500. So the taxable value for manufacturer A will be 52,500. He's going to add IGST at the rate of 5% since it is interstate, which is 2,625. So the net invoice value is 55,125. Now, for wholesaler B, the wholesaler B is adding the profit to the marked price and not to the cost price. So marked price is 75,000. To that, he's adding his profit margin of 30%, so 22,500. Taxable value is 97,500. On this 97,500, he's going to add IGST at the rate of 5%, which is 4,875. So net invoice value, which wholesaler B is going to collect from dealer C, is 1,02,375. So how do we calculate the GST payable by wholesaler B? It is output tax minus input tax. So output tax is how much? 4,875. Input tax is 2,625. So the net GST payable is 2,220. So students, the presentation totally depends on you all, but the answer should be the same. So have you all understood this particular problem, students? Since dealer C, no information is given whether he sells further or no, so therefore we have not considered it. So have you all understood the problem number 16, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone has got it? Again, you can show this separately in one table and show wholesaler B separately in one table, or club it in the same table itself. Is this clear, everyone? Exception Yashaswini, only she is replying. Is this clear to the others? Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's see problem number 17. VIP Limited is engaged in trading of bags across whole of India. So when I say across whole of India, so suppose if VIP Limited is in the city of Belgaum, and across whole of India means in all other states also, so interstate. So because all across India means everywhere. So can he opt for composition levy, students? So students, when we learn under section 10 under composition levy that any person who is doing an interstate transaction of goods and services, he cannot opt for composition levy. So composition levy is applicable to only those whose turnover is below the prescribed limit, that is 1.5 crores, and who's doing intrastate transaction and not interstate transaction. Therefore, the solution VIP Limited cannot opt for composition scheme because it is having interstate supply of goods. Next, Colgate Limited is having a turnover of 99 lakhs in the previous financial year. Can it opt for composition levy? So we know that for applying for composition levy, the turnover should be less than 1.5 crores. Now 99 lakhs is less than 1.5 crores, then Colgate Limited can opt for composition levy. Solution, as turnover of Colgate Limited is less than rupees 1.5 crores in the previous financial year, it can opt for composition levy. Next, let us go to problem number 19. A Diwali gift box consisting of canned foods, which is at the rate of 12%, GST, sweets, chocolates, cakes, dry fruits, which is at 18%, aerated drinks at 28%, fruit juices 18%, is supplied for a single price of rupees 3,500. Means there is a combo pack of Diwali where you have canned fruits, chocolates, dry fruits, aerated drinks supplied at only one price. They have made a basket of it which they are supplying together only for one price, that is 3,500. What type of supply is this, and what will be the GST rate applicable on the supply? Since for each it is separate, for canned foods it is 12%, dry fruits it is 18%, aerated drinks it is 28%, but they are giving you as a single combo. So they are asking what type of supply is this and what will be the GST rate applicable on this. So solution, it is a mixed supply. If you'll remember, under section 8, we have seen something as composite and mixed supply. So mixed supply are those supply where two or more goods are being supplied, but which are not naturally bundled. Okay. So it is a mixed supply, and let us see the calculation. So the taxable value is again on the price of the goods, which is 3,500. So you're going to add GST. Now, what is the GST rate you're going to apply in case of mixed supply? If anyone remembers the concept of mixed supply, can you all tell me what is the rate of GST will you charge on mixed supply?
Ma'am, highest.
Can anyone tell me?
Which is having higher the rate of GST that will be applicable.
So among, very good, very good. So among the combo pack, whichever item in the combo pack is having the highest rate of GST, that will be the rate of GST charged on the entire price, on the entire combo pack. So add GST at the rate of 28%, that is highest rate of tax. Now, since nothing is given, whether it is CGST, SGST, IGST, interstate, intrastate, we're going to consider it CGST and SGST. So 14%, 14%. Since aerated drinks is having the highest rate of GST, 28%, therefore we are considering 28% GST, and the total invoice value that the customer is going to pay to get the Diwali gift box is 4,480 rupees. In assumptions, you all can write that since no information regarding the transaction, whether it is intrastate or interstate, is given, therefore we are considering it to be intrastate transaction. So students, is this problem clear? Yes, students? Is this some clear? Okay. Next. A free bucket with detergent powder is being given. What type of supply is this? Usually with detergent powder, sometimes they give free buckets, right? So what type of supply is this? Is this composite supply or mixed supply? Yes? Students? By now, you all know what is mixed supply and what is composite supply, right? Composite supply is which is naturally bundled with each other. Okay, and there is a dependency of one product or another, like cell phone and charger. You're going to purchase charger only when you have a cell phone. So cell phone, when in cell phone box you get a charger, they both are naturally bundled with each other. Now, if you go to purchase detergent powder and you get a free bucket, Are they naturally bundled? Free bucket is sold, can be sold even without detergent powder, and detergent powder can be sold even without a bucket, right? So they are not naturally bundled. So can you all tell me what type of supply is this?
A mixed supply.
Okay, is this clear to everyone why it is a mixed supply?
Yes, ma'am.
So when you write a solution, instead of just writing mixed supply, you can write that as per section 8, mixed supply is a supply where two or more products have been supplied but which are not naturally bundled with each other, and that can be sold individually as well. So therefore, the bucket can be sold separately with the detergent, unlike the detergent powder. Therefore, it is a mixed supply. Next, AZ Books was having a turnover of 95 lakhs during the previous financial year, and it sells books on Amazon online. Amazon is electronic commerce operator. A to Z Books, however, having less than rupees 1.5 crore turnover in the preceding financial year. So is composition levy applicable to AZ Books? So students, when we learned about composition levy, we learned about certain persons who cannot opt for composition levy, like person doing interstate transaction of goods, or persons, e-commerce operators, they cannot opt for composition levy. Correct? Even if their turnover is less than 1.5 crores, there are certain categories of person who cannot opt for composition levy. So since AZ Books are selling their books on an electronic platform, they through an e-commerce operator, therefore they are not liable for composition levy. So as selling books via online operator makes composition levy unavailable for them. So did everyone understand this? Composition levy is not available to people doing business on e-commerce platform. Therefore, since AZ Books is selling the goods on an e-commerce platform, therefore composition levy is not applicable to them. Next, booking a Rajdhani train ticket which includes meal insurance also. What type of supply is this? So suppose you're taking a train ticket which is having the meals in it, which is having the insurance, travel insurance covered in it. So what type of supply is this? There are three supplies in this: train ticket, meals, and insurance. So is it naturally bundled or it is artificially bundled? Students, think and tell whether it is a mixed supply or composite supply. Yes, students? Yes? It comes under composite supply, reason being train ticket here is the principal supply. Now, along with the train ticket, meals and insurance also are covered. It is like meals and insurance you can get otherwise also, but this meals is provided during your travel in train, as well as the insurance is covered to your travel, which, and the amount of both is including in the train ticket, and so it is naturally bundled, because just to have meals you will not purchase a train ticket, students, right? So your principal supply is your train ticket, the travel, but meals and insurance is not dominating the principal supply. Therefore, whatever rate will be applicable on the train ticket, that will be the rate that will be also applicable to the meals and insurance. Is this clear, students? Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am.
So you all have understood, you all can identify between what is a composite supply and what is a mixed supply, right? Composite is again where they are naturally bundled, students, and which are supplied in the ordinary course of business. Usually when you buy a train ticket, even meals and insurance, they ask you whether you require meals or insurance during your travel insurance, which is usually covered in the price of the ticket. So then this is a composite supply. So is this clear, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, so by this we have completed module number 2. Okay, and the problems on module number 2. Any doubt anyone has in this particular module? Yes, students?